Hi, we're getting ready to get right into the video, but I first wanted to say that if you don't agree with the opinions displayed in this video, which are my own opinions, then please don't be a douche about it, don't be hateful in the comments, and if you disagree with someone else in the comments below, don't start a fight, because I really don't care. Anyways, enjoy the video. What's up guys, Sam Adams here, and welcome to a discussion about the Star Wars Battlefront gameplay trailer that came out on Friday during the Star Wars Celebration. Obviously there was a huge build up to this trailer coming out, and it finally came, and it did not disappoint for the most part. I actually made a reaction video to it right there if you want to go check that out. It got a lot of publicity on my channel, so a lot of people are enjoying it, a lot of people are disliking it. And I have to come out and say that that is not really how I feel about the trailer. I don't really believe that it's the end-all, be-all, you know, beautiful, you know, take my breath away kind of thing. It does look beautiful. It does have some good ideas in it. However, there are some concerns that it raises with me, and that's why I thought I would go ahead and make this discussion to kind of talk about it and discuss that in and of itself. So, I've made a little bit of a list here, and it's not 3 pages long, I promise, but I am going to be going through and talking about some of the things that I saw in the trailer, as well as some of the other information that has come forth from the Star Wars Celebration of itself. So, let's go ahead and start off with the Millennium Falcon. It is seen in the gameplay trailer towards the end of it, and it's during some aerial combat. So, earlier in the gameplay trailer itself, we see Darth Vader, and it was actually detailed later that is a hero, which is pretty much where you can take control of one of the legendary characters of the Star Wars universe. And I'm curious if the Millennium Falcon isn't that kind of thing, but on an aerial level, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can go control some of the most famous kind of flights in Star Wars, and I think that'd be pretty cool if you could, like, you know, especially if there's a first-person cockpit kind of thing where you can see out of the Millennium Falcon. Maybe you're sitting next to Chewie, or you're playing as Han himself. Maybe Han is the hero, and that's how you play as Han. You can get out and run around and do that kind of thing. But I think that would be pretty cool. That's just kind of me speculating. Or it also might work like the AC-130 in Battlefield 4, where you could hop into this little box, per se, and then you could, you know, control the Millennium Falcon for a short period of time. Maybe that's how it works. I don't know. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. But also, there is a power-up sighted where it's kind of generating a force field around 2 troopers, or 2 rebels who are trying to defend themselves against a giant walker. And, I think that's pretty cool. I think that it adds a lot of strategy to the game in and of itself. Personally, I probably won't be using it that much, but of course it might be implemented more heavily in the game than I anticipate it's going to be. But I do think power-ups are going to add a lot to this Battlefront game, because whenever I remember playing it back whenever I was playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 when I was probably like 8 or 9 years old, it seemed like it was a very straightforward point-and-shoot kind of first-person shooter. Obviously, you had different kinds of grenades you could equip. There was a lot of customization in choosing your kind of stormtrooper, but other than that, it seemed kind of, you know, there weren't a lot of options, and it seems like the power-ups are just kind of a way to add more options to itself. So now let's move on to some of the details that I gathered around the internet and things that came out of the celebration. So, first off, the game takes place during the original trilogy. Very good move. If you had made this thing take place in the first 3 movies, that would have been a mistake, save for Revenge of the Sith. I'm a fan of Revenge of the Sith, but 1 and 2 are weird. You've got Qui-Gon Jinn, and it's young Anakin. You have timeline issues there. And then if you had focused primarily on The Force Awakens, that just makes it look like a game that's coming out alongside the movie, and that is not what you want. Obviously, they are trying to get as much money out of the Star Wars brand as possible later this year whenever The Force Awakens comes out, pretty much a couple of weeks after Star Wars Battlefront hits stores. So a lot of money is going to be coming in just because of the Star Wars brand, but fortunately they didn't make it a coinciding with a movie kind of game, which would have been a huge mistake. But so original trilogy is great because hardcore fans of the Star Wars universe are going to have an opportunity to play those movies that just kind of, you know, personify what Star Wars is. It just, that is Star Wars, and that just makes this a better game in general, in my personal opinion. So, also, along with maps, as far as maps go, there are more than 8 maps and more than 2 per planet, and there are 4 planets that are going to be in the game. I'm kind of hoping that they're going to do a Destiny kind of thing with this, and hear me out on this. So if you ever played through Destiny, or if you haven't played through Destiny, pretty much you start out on Earth, and then as you progress through the story, you unlock different planets, and then you can go and you can do those missions, and then you have access to all of the different missions that are in the game. I'm kind of hoping that, I can't believe I'm saying this, other planets are released as expansion packs. For instance, if there's a Mustafar expansion pack that has 4 different Mustafar maps on it or something along those lines, or maybe 2 planets per map pack, and you can get some, different indoor maps, or, if you want to go to Hoth or something like that, you can do that kind of thing. I kind of anticipate that that's how it's going to work. But at launch, there are going to be more than 8 maps, which is pretty much substantial as far as multiplayer maps go. That's enough to keep people busy, and I think that that is going to be plenty until the DLC comes out. Speaking of which, there is a Battle of Jakku, I believe is how you pronounce the name. Jakka, I don't know, but pretty much it's DLC that's coming out on December the 8th, if I remember correctly, which is pretty much a week before The Force Awakens, something along those lines. There's a lot of Star Wars news kind of crammed in a 2-week period of time, and it's basically where there is this battle that takes place sometime in The Force Awakens. It's actually that desert in The Force Awakens 2 trailer, or the second trailer of The Force Awakens, and so there's a giant battle that takes place there, and that is the first DLC. I personally think that that is the last thing that they were working on in the Battlefront game, and they weren't quite finished with it in time for the launch, or they kind of have to push it and it won't be done by the time the launch rolls around. So they're just releasing it as free DLC and making themselves look good, because they're saying, hey guys, you want some free DLC here, a couple weeks after the game comes out, and we're all like, yes, thank you for the DLC. In reality, it's supposed to be a main part of the game, but it got cut out because it wasn't really done. That's just my 2 cents. I might be wrong on that. I hope I'm wrong on that. But regardless, there's some DLC coming, and obviously there's going to be more coming down the pipe. Do I think that this is how the trailer, do I think the trailer is going to look like the game? No. The trailer never looks like the actual end game. However, I do think that some parts of the trailer are kind of a good representation of how the game is going to appear, specifically whenever the TIE fighters are taking off on the Hoth, I believe is the snow planet. Whenever there's that snow scene with the Millennium Falcon, I think that that might be how a air vehicle is going to take off from the ground. But as far as anything else goes, that's kind of just really super rendered, super edited stuff that makes the game look way better than it's going to be. I personally predict that it's going to look like a pretty much reskinned Battlefield 4. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but it does seem like, from what I'm gathering, the space thing that was in Star Wars Battlefront 2, where you could have giant space battles, is kind of being toned down, and I'm imagining pretty much Battlefield 4 with the Star Wars skin on it. There's going to be a lot of aerial combat going on, along with a lot of ground stuff, and there are going to be power-ups and heroes, and it's going to be a giant crazy battle, but it's not going to be on the scale of Star Wars Battlefront 2 as far as the space battles go, which was a major part of the game. I'm going to miss that, but hopefully I'm wrong on that. Hopefully they'll bring all that back. Pretty much what I'm trying to get at is that it's still too early to tell exactly what the game is going to be. We've seen gameplay just to get us hyped up. We've gotten some pretty, menial details about what the game is actually going to be, but just give it time. Don't give up on it yet. Don't go hating on EA and DICE yet. Just give it time, and I'm sure that all of our questions will be answered, and that we will end up with a pretty awesome Star Wars game, regardless of if everyone gets exactly what they want, because it is impossible to try and please everyone, and that's something that a lot of people forget nowadays, is that the developers can't get what everyone wants smashed into their game. They have a vision, and I'm trusting them to make this vision a good game. So there you guys have it. I'm sorry if I got a little bit rambly there for a little bit, going every which way. My mind's just kind of full of Star Wars stuff. But if you bared with me and you enjoyed the video, drop me a like down below and comment what you think about the new Star Wars Battlefront gameplay trailer. Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was a bit much? Do you think the game is going to be terrible? Just let me know what you think down in the comments below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to head over and check out some of the other videos that I do. I upload new stuff like 4 or 5 days a week, depending on the week. So there is always something new for you to check out when you drop here on the channel. And as always, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching this particular video, and I'll talk to you soon.